Welcome, Peace, Love, and Guns. We are out here at Gray Fox Ranch shooting a Sig P229 with XS big dot sights. Since today we are in the mood for some sight testing. So we're just shooting some 40 semi-hollow points. Not semi-hollow points, semi-wad cutters. So it's kind of generic target shooting ammo. I'm going to miss this plate a few times for you guys.
So what are we doing here?
I'm going to take this gun with these big dot sights and pew pew at a target real quick, make sure they're on and accurate.
Alright.
So, also, I guess Will wants me to tell you to like and subscribe and don't touch yourself at night because it makes God angry. Right? Just that's what it's all about, boys and girls.
Sounds like those were all hits.
I missed twice. Want to give it a try?
I want to give it a try.
Give it a try, boy.
That there holds 12 rounds?
Yep.
Alright, thanks for tuning in today, guys. We got the Sig 229. We're shooting 40 Smith & Wesson out of it, and we're going to review some XS big dot sights. Now, actually, I've got a lot of experience shooting these on a 1911 chambered M45, and I had a good experience with them. We're just going to take a walk down memory lane for me, and we're going to kind of go over it a little bit here. We're just going to walk through that. Right now I've got one in the pipe and 11 in the magazine, got the hammer down, single double action gun, and we're going to take the first shot at this target up close right here. That was a miss, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first shot is one of the harder to hit with.
Yeah, the first shot's definitely harder to hit with. You got a little bit longer of a trigger pull there for sure. Alright, that hit. Alright, and I'm decocking it each time just so I can kind of get a feel for that. Now, the sight picture that I'm taking with this, I'm kind of doing a little, what do you call it? I'm just dotting the eye with it. That's all. Just dotting the eye.
What'd you do?
Broke it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Honestly, never had that happen before.
The fact that you said honestly makes me think that you're not being honest. That was weird. Gonna take a long shot at the farther target there. Same sight picture.
You're shooting high.
I'm gonna stop for a second.
Look here, John Wick.
Okay, so may the suck be with me. So, one thing's for sure, when you do your job, it does its job very well. I mean, that big dot sight, compared with the target that's over there, relative to the target, the target's probably a good T-zone, man-sized chest target. And it takes up a circle that would be about yay big, relative to the rest of what I see in my field of view. And when you push out with the gun, as long as you're reasonably controlled on the trigger and not jumping it like I am, man, it just connects. And we were just shooting the Glock 42, and man, a full-size pistol makes a big difference in how easy something is and how pleasurable it is to shoot. Because you just reach out and you can touch things that you wouldn't be able to. Even with that double action trigger pull, you can reach out and just ping steel all day. And we're probably, you know, yards.
30 yards maybe?
We're something away.
I don't have a rangefinder with me, but I'd say we're about 30 yards.
Break yourself. Break yourself, fool.
The gun's getting moist.
It's okay, it's a Glock.
Huh?
It's okay, it's a Glock. It's like waterproof and shit, bro.
Waterproof. Ugh. Let's leave it in some salt water for a little while, see how long it lasts.
Leave yours in salt water, see how...
It's all about the 357 Sig, you hear me?
Tell us about that 357 Sig. So we have a Sig 220, right?
229.
229, and we are swapping the 357 Sig barrel out for the 40 Smith & Wesson. Because 40 Smith & Wesson is cheaper to shoot, correct?
That, and it's what I happen to have. So...
Look at all that shmoo you got up in there.
Yeah.
That's
is
what happens,
kids, when you carry your pistol all day, every day. You should probably brush it out as often as you can.
There's biological matter in there. Look, there's a piece of fern. There's like a fern gully in there. Yeah, so if you're a rancher, you get dust in your gun frequently.
I think that's actually dirt. That's
Well,
what that is.
dirt. Sand. Sand-sized particulate. Greater than or equal to 6 microns.
Yeah.
Put them Sig 357 V crowns away temporarily. On our last episode, we looked at what those things do to ballistic gel. And the results were... Ow, these fucking copper jackets are sharp, Dad.
What's that? Oh.
So this is the Sig 357 V crown. This is what it does on the inside of ballistic gel.
So based on the pattern inside the ballistic gel, all the leaves actually did fold out like this. Made a huge star pattern on the inside. However, about halfway through that block, just because of the way blocks are made, it started tumbling a bit, and that's why it tore off some of those petals over there.
Yeah, we did see that it tore off one petal, and we actually recovered it. It stayed in the gel. And then there's the little bit of lead from that petal. And there was one little other splotch of lead that it lost.
But as far as the actual entry wound was concerned, it was pretty gnarly. They all stayed intact like you would want them to.
And there's the back of that. Just twisted metal.
Gray Fox Gunsmithing, that's William. I actually bought this gun used probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And I got kind of lucky. You can kind of see it says the frame is made in Germany. I don't think the slides were made in Germany at the time. But it doesn't have a maker stamp on the slide, so I can't really tell you. And some of the Sig...
Germany, yeah.
Some of the Sig fanatics will argue that the Germany ones are more pure to the brand or whatever. But it is what it is. And it was originally a 40 slide since the 357 when this one was originally produced. This one here was produced. 357 wasn't very popular, so the 40 is the one that came with it. I just got that 357 drop-in slide, which is what we just went over the round that I'm currently and actively using in it. Because I really want to check out the V-Crown against some of those 357 critical duties, but they're like the unicorn. I've yet to actually see one, so, and I'm a naughty boy, so they probably won't come to me. Critical duty rounds from Hornady are super hard to find.
Was that unicorn lore you just...
It was, yeah.
Like unicorns don't approach naughty boys?
They don't approach men in general. Look, man, I'm a D&D nerd, right? Hey,
and a horse rancher.
So, I mean, we got two fucking nerd shit. This guy with these barrels, man. I would really like to check out those Hornady critical duties compared with these Sig V crowns. If I can ever find Hornady critical duty for 357s. So if anybody wants to send us some,
donate to us on Patreon. Patreon.com/peacelovingguns. We accept all sorts of donations. Even just $1 a month really helps. Goes a long way towards funding our adventures. This is one thing that I like about the Sig 229s and 6s. Look at that beefy coil spring. It's a braided
Yep.
coil spring. Like a beauty rest.
Another thing that I've noticed with SIGs that most other manufacturers don't have is this is the original barrel. And lockup is important for accuracy, right? And you'll see that this has very little to no side-to-side play.
Yeah, boy, that's getting tight right there.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, and this is the drop-in 357 barrel that I got. All I did was I ordered it from SIG, told them what I had. This is what they sent me. And again, just a drop-in barrel, no fitting on it or anything.
No
Didn't have to
fitting
touch
required,
it.
huh?
Huh?
No fitting required.
Now the actual purpose of today's video is we're in a sight reviewing mode today, and these are my worn out as hell XS big dot sights. You can see that they've been here for a while. They got a little bit of wear and tear on them, but they are holding up solid. And they do have tritium on both the front and the rear.
And the camera makes this difficult to see. These are the big dots. They do make a, people will cry about that.
Well, people can cry about it all they want. They just saw me change the barrel out.
That's true. Maybe compared to a fingernail. You can see that's a pretty big dot. So these are very fast acquisition, and the aspect ratio on the camera doesn't really pick up how big that dot looks in comparison to the eye. So your sight picture is dotting this eye that's on the back of on the rear sight. You just kind of fit it down in that valley and center it, and it'll look like a little lowercase I. But
for longer range shooting, what they actually say is to cut this in half with the rear sight, so you basically have the inner dot actually sitting on top of that little spike right there. And that's what they recommend for longer range precision shooting. There we go. Now we're going to load it up because it is empty because I just took the barrel out.
boom!
Don't put any 357 SIGs in there.
Wrong way.
Oh, really? So these are our 12 round mags. These here P229s. And as you can see, that is an Equinox. So
It's mighty pretty, boy.
yeah. The newer ones, you can kind of tell the newer ones because the
Slide serrations?
yeah, the slide serrations come up more, like more like 2/3 of the way up the gun rather than following this line here. So, or at least they did for a little. They change them every couple of years. So, oh, you look at there. You see that pin? How it's purpling out a little bit?
Yeah.
Means it's a high nickel content. High nickel content pin.
Nice.
So, anyways,
Load them 357 SIGs in there.
yeah, don't do that.
Stand by. Shell casings were hitting the drone.
It's always the saddest thing when you run out of ammo.
Yeah, refill it. guys, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We really like the dot sights, like I said before. I used them for years on my 1911, and they work great if you want a quick into action combat sight. These things really rock. Dot the eye with the front post, and you've got a very functional combat zero out to probably 25 yards with something that's 4 or 5 inch long barrel. It's simply point and click, and a man-sized target, you're gonna get a good hit. Thanks again, and see you on the next video.